serving and empowering nurses. This is Nurse Connect with Kristine.
Hello, podcast viewers, and we've got here a beautiful nurse, our guest today. Hi, Rheem. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
That's good. Isn't she beautiful? She's got a night shift, by the way, tonight, and so we appreciate your time today, Rim. And we just wanted to thank the audience as well for watching, and also please stay tuned for the rest of the video, because I'm sure you're gonna get a lot from Rim as she shares her experience to be an enrolled nurse here in Australia. And I'm so proud of Rim. By the way, we were just having a bit of a chat earlier, and she's here as an overseas student, right, Reem? And
Yes,
that,
yes.
yeah, so the hard work that she
International
has
student.
put
Yeah,
in. I
I
don't know.
know. We all know that there's so many things going on with international student, but
Mm,
I've been here for like 5 years and
wow.
still international student. So the good thing is I've got one semester left in uni, and then I'll be able to apply as a registered nurse soon.
Oh wow, congratulations, Reem. I'm
Thank
ever so
you.
proud of you, because when I met Reem, she's got a beautiful heart. And when you see her, she's always smiling, as you can see now. So yeah, so if you wanted to reach out to her, comment down on the box below so we get you connected to her as well. But she's going to share her experience today. And for those listeners, by the way, guys, in Australia, in the hierarchy of nurses, there's registered nurse, enrolled nurse, and assistant nurse, right? And so to be an enrolled nurse, you need to study diploma of nursing for 2 years, and this is what Reem has done. Okay, and so now, obviously, she said, she's working on her registration as a nurse. But for those of you who would like that information, I'm happy to help you, guide you as well to becoming an enrolled nurse or registered nurse. But Rim, now the first question for you: are you enjoying your work so far as an enrolled nurse?
Yes, I am. So, apparently, I've been an enrolled nurse for a year and I think 4 months now. So, I started my job last year at Prince of Wales Private Hospital in Randwick.
Wow.
I started last February 2023. I joined as a new grad enrolled nurse, and
Wow.
it's been an amazing experience. There's ups and downs,
Yeah.
but I've learned a lot of I learned a lot of experience in there, and still I'm loving this job.
And some of the nurses or enrolled nurses I interview, Rim, they're having difficulty finding job. Are you able to help them out? Like, what did you do? How did you get work? And what sort of experience to bring in so you can get that work that you're working in a hospital straight away after you're enrolled nurse.
Um, I think for me, because I had my placement, 3 weeks placement in that hospital as well. It's just a little bit.
Mm,
It's a orthopedic ward, and then just right after my placement in that hospital, I saw there's a new grad application at
wow.
SICK website, and
Mm-hmm.
then I just applied, and then I think my placement experience just given me advantage in there, and then that's why some of the educator I know them, and then they know me as well, even though I worked with them for like few weeks only, and
Mm-hmm.
everything went smoothly, and then I started my job there like after
Wow.
my diploma in nursing.
Oh, wow. And I think it's not just about your experience there, right? It's your character.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Rim, she's got a really nice character, and I think she's always happy to lend a helping hand. Like for you now, she's happy to share her experience with you nurses. And tell us the difference between an enrolled nurse and registered nurse working in a ward, Rim. Are you able to
Um,
walk us through? Yeah.
Yeah, so with my job, um, there's definitely differences with the scope of practice.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more responsibility for registered nurses. However, as an enrolled nurse, also responsible with my patient care. Also, the differences is like with administering acid medication, so we always
That's
need an
right.
RN to do that with us. But however, we can also do S4 drugs. RNs can, like their scope of practice, they can do PIC lines, CVCs, TPNs, and yeah, things like that. But with me, there's also same thing that I do because I'm in a post-op surgical ward, so it's a general surgical. Of course, I have to look after them. I get post-op patients like that, so I just make sure that they are comfortable. I provide reassurance as well. I contact their family. I provide. I have to do all the post-op orders like that. Make sure that everything's working fine with them. All the IVs, catheters, drains, and their dressings. Like holistically, I have to do that as well as a nurse, as an enrolled nurse, and also just go through with them with the recovery and communicate with the surgeons, anesthetists, and everything involved with their care. And if there's anything that I need, I can always like reach out to my RNs. They're very much supportive with me at my work. They've been really good and helpful, and also the people that I work with. So as an enrolled nurse, I'm still a nurse, but there's just some scope that I can't do, but there's some also things that I have to do as a nurse to look after them, and it's been a wonderful experience. I've learned a lot from this job. I'm not a nurse in Philippines. I just started my nursing career in Australia,
Oh yeah.
so that was like COVID time. So
Mm.
it's been up and down because uh, I did
Can
my
imagine.
diploma in nursing online.
Oh wow.
In the beginning, it was online because we can't do it face to face. Apparently,
Mm.
that time where the restrictions is hard, and then at some point we slowly started doing face to face, and then
Mm.
when I finished, I just started. Everything's went well. Like COVID is still there, but um, like there's less restrictions, and I started my work there, and now I'm here.
Because yeah, so thank you for sharing that, Rim. That was very thorough, and I don't think you can do face to face with nursing, right? You need to be eventually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so thank you, Rim, for that. And I think three of the main differences that you said there is the responsibility and scope, which is
Yeah.
like the S8, the peak
Yeah.
line. You can't really, especially after surgery, some of them is on
Yeah.
peak line, right? So
Yes.
you can't really deal with that. And then also the S8, you can't, yeah, so you can't really as an enrolled nurse. And I think you forgot to mention the pay, right? That's
Oh, the
the
pay.
difference.
Yeah, the pay.
But
Yeah. So RNs they get more money.
yeah, so those are
Yeah.
the three.
Yeah. And then the education. So when it comes to diploma nursing, we have to do like diploma. Yeah, the level is diploma, and then I did 18 months of study, and then with the bachelor, when I finished my diploma in nursing, I'm already like in my second year bachelor, so I only have to do 2 years
Wow.
bachelor degree.
Yeah, yeah.
So I started it last year March, and then so hopefully I'm finishing this November this year.
Yeah. And so there's not really much difference for those of you who are listening in terms of the enrolled nurse and registered nurse role. Okay. So just to be clear on that one. And I guess, just with the scope and the pay and the things, the other scope, that you still have to be supervised by an RN. But
Yes.
technically you are independent on the floor, right, Rim?
Yes.
And so, yeah. And so, and the next question, Rim, do you sometimes feel at work that you have less responsibility than an RN? Um, and the example, give us an example how your shift start, or how is it different really from an RN?
Yeah, so sometimes there's like, it just depends. So sometimes if most of the RNs in my work, they kind of like get the complicated patients. So as what I mentioned, they if there's the patient has this PICC line CVC, then most of them,
Yeah.
the RNs look after them. And then also in as a EN, then I also got patients who's also lots of attachments in there. But if it's not within my scope of practice, then I just get the RN to supervise me and then help me out.
Yeah.
And also with the shifting, because I do 12-hour shift, that's what I like to do. So if I do like 3 12-hour shift in a week, if I'm on my uni break, so that's with that way I get to do more day off.
So
And
good.
but there's also, we kind of like start from 7 a.m. and finishes at 7:30 in the evening. And then we get morning tea after, and then lunch break as well. But there's also other shifts like 7 to 3:30, 8-hour shift. There's also midday, we start from 11 a.m. and then finish at 7:30. With that shift, it's mainly like post-op, because all the patients are like coming back from recovery. So what they get is all post-op patients straight away. There's also like 4-hour shift, 3:30 to 7:30, and then the night shift, which starts from 7:30 in the evening and then finishes in the 7:30 in the morning.
Right. Yeah. So I didn't know that kind of shifting. Right. Thank you for the awareness, Rim. And the other thing also to point out here for the nurses, guys, this depends on like the ward, right?
The work,
So
yeah.
Rim is specifically saying about the orthopedic ward, but in terms of scope and role, it's pretty much the same. Responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And so at
yeah.
this moment, again, as an enrolled nurse, RIM is more reliant on collaborating with an RN at this moment. But I'm so proud of you. You'll be an RN soon, right? So just one semester left, as you said. But with the pay, RIM, how much do you get as an enrolled nurse? And I guess the nurses are listening. Like we were talking about earlier, you do get a lot of extra shifts, right? At this moment.
Yeah. It just depends, because weekdays, it's just the base rate. And then
Mm.
Sunday, of course, definitely there's Saturday rate and then Sunday rate, which is much bigger. It really make a big difference in my pay rate.
Yeah.
And also night shift, there's always night shift differential. And um, also, I think because in my ward, um, we do like 12-hour shift, and then so that's like straight base pay rate on the weekdays. But
So
when I
good.
used to work in day surgery, there's like the loading.
Yeah.
There's like afternoon loading, and it's really good as well. But I barely get weekend shift. And unlike with my surgical ward, um, it's a 24-hour shift work, and that's why sometimes I work on Saturday and Sunday in night shift as well.
Right. Yeah. So there you go, nurses. I think Australia is very generous that way.
Very generous, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think other, country gets that kind of pay rate or on top of loading, as you were saying. And so we're very lucky for those of you nurses who are planning to be an enrolled nurse or registered nurse in Australia. There's a really good incentives. And if you work on the weekends, by the way, Rim, there's 5 weeks annual leave. I heard
Yes,
some companies
yes,
even
five
giving
weeks,
six
yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Mm.
I think because us we are like 24-hour shift. I think for us we get 6 weeks leave, and then additionally, if we do more Sundays, we also get other additional shift leave, like shift hours, something like that. And then I just discovered like recently, and then
Yes, yes.
and I was like, oh, there's something like that. And then aside from that, we have superannuation, and then also we have like overtime, which is also like really good.
Yes, there's definitely a lot of opportunity for nurses, right? And yeah, so the other question, Reem, thanks for that, by the way. What advice can you give the nurses out there in terms of wanting to be an enrolled nurse? Also, specifically the ones from overseas.
I think it's just mainly like focusing on your purpose. 'Cause the more, if you're like really passionate about, you just like enjoy what you do, and it's been really like a privilege for me to look after people. Like when they say thank you to whatever I do, like simple thing, I just like hold their hand or give them a warm blanket, and then they're very appreciative and thankful about it, and that does really like make me feel like I did something that makes them comfortable and happy, and then that's like something that I always think of in my day, makes me happy. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they're very like appreciative. They give us a lot of chocolates in the ward. They
Yes.
give us cards, little cards, say thank you to all the nurses who look after me, and that they mention us. So that's like a relief. Like at the end of the day, when you think of them, you feel like all your hard work is paid off, and then you don't feel like tired at all because you're really happy. So yeah, so that's it for me. For also for the overseas who's aspiring to be a nurse in Australia, I'm sure there's always a lot of available resources that you can find. That so there's also like schools and training like AuRNPathway. So they
Yeah,
always
yeah.
have the information that you need, so just
Mm,
like reach out. And then Australia is a beautiful country, and then if you work as a nurse, um, it's really good. You feel like you're always taken care of by the yeah, by this country, and it's a lovely country. So yeah, to work at. Thank
definitely,
you.
Reem. Yeah, and I love what you said earlier. That it doesn't matter like the hard work that you put in, as long as you enjoy it, right? And I think
Yeah.
and I think it shows that you enjoy nursing, by the way, Reem. And so I'm very proud of you. And again, you're updating your career. But for those of you nurses that are listening who wanted to be an enrolled nurse, it's kind of like, putting your foot on the waters as well. And for the overseas qualified nurses, or the one that has no experience as a nurse overseas, if you wanted to come in Australia, it's kind of like testing the waters. So you can study diploma of nursing first, okay? And I'm not sure if you know, Rim, I did was an educator for a diploma of nursing, so I have a lot of for TAFE as well, right? So I have a lot
Yes.
of diploma of nursing nurses that I've looked after, by the way. And it's a, what do you call it? It's 2 years course, so it's 1 year less than an RN. Okay, but if you wanted to pursue, like Rim said, your RN, you can just do 2 years more study. Okay, and the last question, Rim, what's your long-term goal as a nurse?
My long-term goal, after my uni, I'm thinking to stay in my ward, or like I'm really keen to get more experience, like more clinically. So I really wanted to have more experience in acute clinical ward, acute clinical setting like that. Um, I'm still like planning. I'm still thinking of my plans because I also have new grad opportunities that I can do. There's
Mm,
so many opportunities out there for like new grad nurses,
that's
and
right.
I'm still like thinking about my plans because I'm happy to stay in my ward, but I still have to reassess myself, and like because I'm really keen to hone my skills and get more experience, like good
Definitely.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, Rim. And again, as I always advise my nurses, I think being as a nurse, you do get a lot of incentives, salary, leave, and so we wanted to
Mm.
take advantage and the extra shift, right? And we wanted to take advantage as early as possible and save up because this will get you to your goals sooner. Okay, because when you get to start to work as an RN as well, your pay would be higher,
Yes.
and Reem has paid a lot of tuition fee, as well.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
I think, now that you've done it, I think after you've graduated, I believe that there's really more potential for you and opportunities, as you said, definitely. Especially as a nurse in Australia, there's always a lot of specialty, okay, that you can
Mhm.
go into. For me, I only work 1 year full time, by the way, Rim, and
Oh
1 to 2
wow.
years because I don't like being boxed. I like,
Mm.
I like exploring. And
Lauren, yeah.
so, yeah, so for those nurses, I think that the advice is if you don't like where you're at the moment, you're not a tree, right? You can move.
Mm.
And so, yeah, so I think Rim, for you, there's definitely a lot of opportunities, and I'm so excited, and I'm gonna be so proud of what you're gonna be as a long-term nurse, Rim. Okay,
Thank
again,
you.
yes, so thank you so much again, Rim, for your time. I enjoyed this interview with you, and for
Same,
those,
me too.
yes, thank you so much, Rim. And nurses, thank you so much for tuning in today's podcast. And we'll see you again next time in our next episode. I'm Christine, your host for today, empowering and serving you, nurses. Comment down below if you have any question or if there's any podcast or interview that you would like me to do for you. And so, have a lovely day. Bye for now.
Bye.